Well, my name is Darlene Beal. I'm the Executive Director of Haverhill Community Media, and welcome to the 2015 Haverhill Community Media Annual Meeting of Members. We have a beach theme going on tonight, so I hope everybody is enjoying the beach pizza and the fried dough and everything else we have back there. Tonight we're going to take a look back at our accomplishments, a look forward to the future of our organization. But before we get going, I'd like to thank Erin Scott for coordinating tonight's event and the entire staff for executing it. Erin, just wave your hand if you're in the room. Thank you. Oh, there she is. Yay, yay. Now I'd like to take a moment, almost like a moment of silence, to remember two members that passed away this year. Bill Miller. Bill was a staunch advocate for Haverhill Community Television since the early days of the 1980s when we were born. He was the chairperson of the Mayor's Cable Advisory Committee during both the Pelosi and Rorak administrations, and saw the city through tough contract negotiations with Cablevision and later Comcast. And Steve Differ. Steve came to HC Media in 2013 and dedicated his time here as an advocate for veterans. He produced Let's Talk, Vets Talk, and he won the 2013 Volunteer of the Year Award. Steve left us much too early, and he's been greatly missed. Thank you. Now to continue, it is my pleasure and honor to introduce the Vice President of HC Media Board of Directors to call this meeting to order, Jay Cleary.
It's really nice to get a round of applause for walking to a podium. I want to welcome everybody to our annual meeting of Haverhill Community Media. This is, as I was saying to some of the folks at my table, our opportunity, those of us who are members and volunteers, as well as staff, to get together really 2 times a year, this annual meeting as well as our holiday Christmas program. In many ways, a lot of those who are members, including myself, volunteers, producers, we are like ships passing in the night. And by that I mean we come in, we produce our programs, or we come in and work the control booth, or come in and work cameras, or come in on a certain night, do some editing, or do some live shoots, or whatever it is that we're volunteering in. But as a group, we're not often together because one person's doing one thing and there's another show on the next day. So we're not given that opportunity to gather together. So tonight to me is very significant, and I hope it is for everyone else. You get to say hello to those people that you may see as you're coming in the door or out the door. So I want to welcome everybody who's here tonight, and I also want to make mention of the fact that the theme is great. I wish it was a little bit warmer. I was almost going to bring one of my surfboards to be put on stage, but it's still at Seabrook Beach. But it's a sign of warmth to come after the February that we had. I was sitting here one afternoon with Warren Medley taping a show while there were snow blowers working the roof. So spring is here, summer is coming, and we're going to enjoy the time we have together. Every year at this meeting, we have a promotional clip, or the members clip, that staff puts together. I want to recognize everybody here on the staff at Haverhill Community TV. They do a great job. They spend a lot of time. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of effort put into the members' tape, as we call it. You'll see that at the end of the night, and it's always enjoyable. I also want to recognize somebody who just sat down at the table to my left with her daughter, because those of you that may not realize it or recognize it, this is an outstanding media center, not only in Massachusetts, but we've got national recognition. There's a group called the Alliance for Community Media. They have an annual media competition. And over the years, a number of the producers here have received national awards, first place awards for their programs. Now, since last year's annual meeting, which was on May 5th, one of our members received a national award as the best magazine program in the United States of America. Lindsay Paris, Merrimack Valley kids, please stand. Great job, Lindsay. Think about it. Best magazine program in the United States of America in a community media competition. This is a good example of the type of people we have who are staff, volunteers, working for the betterment of our community. Speaking of working for the betterment of our community, Haverhill, the Board of Directors of Haverhill Community Media has made a concerted effort to look to the future and invest in the future of the city of Haverhill. And by that, our board is investing into the Harbor Place project, which will be at White's Corner, at the corner of Merrimack Street and Main Street. Everybody knows the Woolworth building is down. Something great is going to be built there. Ron Trombley will be talking about that later tonight. But we, as a community nonprofit organization, are putting our faith in the future of the city of Haverhill by investing for a space in that building. And hopefully a year from now, when we come for this meeting, we'll be talking about steel being erected, walls being built, roofs being added to a beautiful edifice that's going to really change the city of Haverhill for the 21st century. Having said all that, I am going to thank everybody for being here and turn the program over to Darlene, who's going to show us a promotional video that was recently put together and then followed by a director's report. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. This promotional video is really just Haverhill Community Media in a nutshell, so I hope you enjoy it. It's very short, so I direct your attention to the screen, please.
Haverhill Community Media is a private, nonprofit 501c3 corporation that was developed to promote and sponsor public access television in Haverhill. Our purpose is to provide Haverhill residents and Haverhill-based nonprofit institutions access to the powerful medium of video. This has been our mission for over 26 years, but what we do goes much further. In the 2014 fiscal year, over 960 original programs were produced by our organization for broadcast over one of our 3 cable channels. On Channel 22, our public access channel, Haverhill Community Media members and staff produced 697 original programs in 2014. These programs cover the spectrum from the news and local interest stories presented on the Haverhill Journal to the information and entertainment presented in any one of our 25 monthly series programs, such as Point of Reference, When I'm 64, Right Now, and Matters of the Heart, to name just a few. If there's a public event, chances are Haverhill Community Media staff and volunteers will be there. From community staples like the VFW Santa Parade, Kids Fest, and River Ruckus to yearly election coverage, debates, and in-depth political analysis, Haverhill Community Media is always there to bring it right into your living room. Channel 99, our education channel, is devoted to helping the city's learning institutions. In 2014, 155 original programs were produced for organizations including the Haverhill Public School System, Whittier Vocational Technical School, and Northern Essex Community College. Our staff and volunteers have recorded graduations, sporting events, and special presentations, all in an effort to better enhance the educational outreach in our community. Through long-standing partnerships, HC Media offers its facilities, equipment, and expertise to all of these organizations for the use of students and faculty. Whether we're donating over $100,000 to Haverhill High School's video production studio, establishing a $10,000 scholarship for Northern Essex students, collaborating with NECC to teach field production courses, or hosting special workshops for Whittier Tech students, Haverhill Community Media is constantly looking for new ways to support the learning establishments of our city. On Channel 9, our government channel, Haverhill Community Media produced 63 original programs in 2014. We record every City Council, School Committee, and License Commission meeting. Not only do we broadcast these meetings live, we also make them available on our website. We have done special informational reports with city departments, such as the Forestry Department, and we have produced weekly updates from the Mayor's Office, the City Clerk, the Police Department, the Council President, and the Superintendent of Public Schools. However, here at Haverhill Community Media, producing videos isn't all we're about. We're about investing over $100,000 in the City Council chambers, installing brand new lighting, phone lines, and Ethernet to better enhance Haverhill's government outreach. We're about offering training, resources, and expertise to religious groups so that they can bring their services to members of our community who can no longer worship in person. We're about working with over 160 nonprofit organizations to help them achieve their goals and spread their message. We're about mentoring the youth of the community through internships and special projects designed to engage teens and young adults and equip them with useful tools and skills for their future. And when it comes to Haverhill's future, Haverhill Community Media is helping lead the way. For over 45 years, the Woolworth building sat vacant and decaying right in the heart of our city, hindering growth and revitalization. But within the last year, the Harbor Place project has become a game changer. Haverhill Community Media was the first organization to commit to purchasing space at Harbor Place, becoming a crucial component to its overall success. When the challenge was given, Haverhill Community Media stepped up to make the most important investment in our organization's history and play a major role in the most critical development in downtown Haverhill in over 100 years. We do all of these things not because we're mandated to, but because we believe in investing in the betterment, well-being, and positive future of the city of Haverhill. Haverhill Community Media will always have our city and its neighborhood's best interests at the heart of all we do. We will always strive to be innovative, creative, and find new ways to use our skills and tools to achieve these goals and to make our city the best city that it can be. Haverhill Community Media, investing in Haverhill's future, always.
Thank you, Lindsay. I'm going to be as brief as I can with my director's report and just share with you some of the highlights of 2014. 2014 saw the restructuring of operations here at Haverhill Community Television to more efficiently and effectively utilize the resources of our extremely talented staff under the guidance of Matt Belfiore, Director of Operations. There he is. We're meeting our goal of more quality programming on the government and education channels with new programs like the Police Bulletin with Officer Malone, Haverhill How To, and also A Minute with the Mayor, to name just a few. HC Media community news producer Lindsay Paris has brought viewers a look at what's going on in our city for over a year. We're proud to celebrate Haverhill Journal's one-year anniversary this month, actually. The Haverhill Journal has delivered over 100 individual stories on topics such as Haverhill's arts, culture, history, including the Cogswell Arts Center Initiative and Birch Brow, to current events such as the Market Basket Saga, the governor's visit during the groundbreaking at Harbor Place. Lindsay and her team have made the Haverhill Journal a favorite with viewers, not just on TV 22, but also on YouTube and Facebook, reaching an audience far beyond the boundaries of Haverhill. In March of last year, the harvesting of diseased trees around Winnie-Kinney Basin by the Forestry Department was met by public concern and a lot of misunderstanding. HC Media partnered with the Forestry Department to create a video on the topic, bringing clarity to an otherwise hot-button issue. HC Media's partnership ongoing with Historic New England is strong as we continue to capture oral and visual histories from residents that have vivid memories of Haverhill's former heyday in the downtown. We're extremely proud in 2014 of further enhancing our partnership with Northern Essex in many ways. Collaborating to create a more robust, comprehensive video field production class taught by Matt and assisted by Chris. The class now produces 4 to 6 programs per semester called NECC Today. In addition, we've created 2 paid internships for Northern Essex students and are continuing our HC Media's $10,000 transfer scholarship. I'd just like to make a mention about the internships. This is something formally done with Northern Essex. We hold 2 positions every semester. This was our first semester, and we've had, Shayna Richards and Sean Smith. And I have to tell you, they were both absolutely fantastic interns. We look forward to continuing the internship program with Northern Essex. At this time, I'd like to call Sean and Shayna up to the podium for a little something. Sean did our production intern, and Shayna did more of a writing Haverhill Journal intern. So this, Sean, this is for you. And this here and that. There you go. And Shayna, this is for you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will say we're definitely going to miss both of them when they go, and I hope they don't go. I hope they stay and volunteer for a long, long time. Sean, that's for you. After months and months of struggle with the creation of our new website, HC Media staff took matters in their own hands. Within 2 weeks, staff created a website that enhanced our online video service and the delivery of government meetings. We've included updated information, feature stories, and HC Media in the news. Recently, Haverhill HHS graduations from 1990 all the way to 2014, and Whittier Tech graduations from 2001 to 2014 were made available on demand on HC Media's website. Through Facebook and Twitter, thousands of graduates were able to access their own graduation ceremonies, some for the very first time. This came to be in no small part by the efforts of our newest staff member, multimedia specialist Brian Huff. Yay, Brian. But Brian didn't stop there. In 2015, you can expect a new website creation, currently in the works by Brian. And that's just a little example of what you might see. Also in 2015, streaming government meetings can be accessed on our website. No longer do you have to wait until Saturday to see the repeat. You can watch it as it's going on. Brought to you each week by production assistant Shannon Keaton. For the first time in HC Media history, production coordinator Sarah McCarthy took on the absolutely enormous task of leading the Haverhill Idol project for Kids Arts Fest. Sarah coordinated all the auditions, recruited the judges, produced the Idol videos, and is now in charge with facilitating the main stage at the festival. Good luck, Sarah. HC Media production staff Chris Bowden and Tom Jorgensen led educational workshops throughout the year for the Haverhill High School's English Language Education Program, Violence Intervention Prevention Program, and Whittier Tech Wildcats News Program. In addition, Chris is leading an effort to profile shops at Whittier Votech, while Tom works with the Health Inspector's Office. That's Tom at his finest. The Health Inspector's Office and other city offices developing more programming for the government channel. All right. HC Media took part in documenting the interior of the Woolworth building before its demolition, and then, of course, the long-awaited demolition itself, which happened to occur in the dead of winter, in the bitter cold, with the breeze of the river blowing. Staff members took shifts, braving this bitter cold, to ensure that we captured the fall of every brick, and we did. The media landscape is changing. As it does, individual access centers are being put to the task of finding new ways to move through this uncharted territory, while remaining relevant and true to their mission to provide access to new video technologies. HC Media is leading the way with our commitment to invest in Harbor Place. The HC Media community can look forward to a space for rich and rigorous programming, a state-of-the-art definition TV studio dedicated to expanded news magazine coverage, and an audio studio for capturing the voices of Haverhill residents through history projects and podcasts. And more importantly, a community space equipped with the latest in technology. HC Media is proud to focus on the positive aspects of Haverhill, and prouder still to commit to investing in the future of Haverhill. We're very proud this evening to have with us Ron Trombley of the Greater Haverhill Foundation and the Merrimack Valley Ventures to present the future of Haverhill's downtown and Harbor Place. So I give to you, Ron. We have your presentation in the back. Please trust us.
I have every confidence.
Okay.
Thank you, Darlene. Thank you,
You're
Darlene.
welcome.
And thank you so much for the opportunity tonight to kind of share some thoughts and perspective on Harbor Place. But I think you'll see that the perspective is much more than just Harbor Place in terms of the impact, and Harbor Place plays a piece of this. So let's, as we look at it, and again, usually I have my clicker when I do this, so we're working on the choreography here with the back room, but this is perfect. Just going back about the history of this city, and I think this, when we named it Harbor Place, people said, well, why do you call it that? You know, I was born and brought up in Haverhill. I never thought of it in that context. And as we started to research a little bit, you started to see about the history of the city, the last navigable stop on the river in this great shot. And the next one here is something that we looked at and trying to think about the Merrimack River. You kind of become parochial, but up in the upper left-hand corner, you see the Merrimack River in terms of scale. And then on the right-hand side, you see the Merrimack up around Lowell, and it's about the same size, about 470 feet. And down the lower left, what you're looking at is that's the Charles River in Cambridge. You know, there's a few things going on the Charles River. And on the right lower side, that's in Paris, on the Seine. And actually, the Seine is 400 feet wide. The Merrimack River is 470 feet wide. So from a scale perspective, on a comparative scale, there's no reason why the ability to move and develop and to move traffic up and down the Merrimack River isn't a true reality. Another shot here that some of you have seen, you know, this is the story of, this is right next to the Basileia Bridge in the late 1880s. And these two vessels, two sea captains, and one was a fellow who lived in Haverhill, another one lived in Bradford. And the story behind this is that they did trading up and down, coming up and down the Merrimack River, bringing materials to Haverhill for leather goods and other types of things. And they traded away as far away as the West Indies out of Haverhill. So have you thought about the port of Haverhill? That's really the history of it. Next slide. Here's another shot we were looking at, and again, trying to get a sense of what was going on and how was Haverhill connected as the last navigable stop on the Merrimack River to the Atlantic Ocean. Well, here's a shot of a vessel, a 175-ton vessel, and when you look at it, you got all these people hanging off it, again, the late 1800s. And these are shoe workers and textile workers that were going up, and this is off of the Black Rocks at Salisbury Beach. And if you look at that closely, the name of that ship is the City of Haverhill. What'd you think about that? Why would you call it Harbor Place? Next slide. Another one we just kind of saw, and this is another vessel, which I thought was interesting. This is on a dock that literally was on Merrimack Street, again in the 1880s, 1890s. And this vessel carried 1,100 people. And what you see down in the lower corner, that was the ticket from the Merrimack Valley Steamboat Company. And any given Saturday or Sunday or weekday, if you wanted to go down the Black Rocks and spend some time at Salisbury Beach, you could get a round trip for 25 cents. So going back in November, again, thinking about the river and the critical economic impact of the river and reestablishing a much greater utilization and transport up and down the Merrimack River. There's a shot of Katie Ives, Senator Ives. And Senator Ives is the only person in a state-level role that actually encompasses from Newburyport up to Methuen. So she's the one that has her district that really encompasses what we're talking about. And the other fellow there is Dennis DeZoglio, and of course my partner Sally O'Rourke too. And this is the Haverhill Harbor Master met us this is mid-November down in Newburyport. And we started in Newburyport, and the idea was to try to embed in this idea of, can we develop this concept of the river cities to tie these important areas together? And so Senator Ives is also the head of the Travel and Tourism Committee at the State House. So we thought that would be a great opportunity. And again, Merrimack Valley Planning Commission, Dennis has a role with all these communities along the Merrimack. And as we move through these slides rather quickly, these are just some shots, and I'll show you the next one as we came up the river. And again, this is on a November day. And we continued on up. And what you see here is we turned around, come up through Groveland. Now, in the distance there, you're looking at the fire station on Water Street as you start to approach the Port of Haverhill. And as we continue on up, now this was in a July day, I kind of cheated a little bit, but that is one beautiful structure. And I think when you started, I always looked at it and I said, why did we have a pilot house on this bridge? Well, as you look back historically, there was a darn good reason. Because you're talking about as much as a 175-ton vessel making 2 to 3 stops up and down this river every day, bringing people and connecting these river cities together. And now, that is really the definition of the entry to the harbor. This is going up to when we look at the new dock that was put in year before last, behind the tap by the city. And I was looking in this beautiful greenery and what have you, and this was an 80-some-odd degree Friday afternoon. I said, let's go down and walk on that dock and see what it looks like. And again, you can see the dock there, and I look on the side and I said, well, you know, there's one thing wrong with this picture. This is a beautiful, world-class body of water. What's missing? And I show you this next shot. This is actually looking back when we left that trip from Newburyport that day. And on your right-hand side is a facility of waterfront condominiums called River's Edge. And I happened to be involved in the development of that some 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago. And as I show you this next slide, a little bit closer at River's Edge, this was a demolished Caldwell rum factory. They used to produce Caldwell rum in Newburyport, and that factory had been abandoned for years. And not unlike what you see on the various sides of the Merrimack River in Haverhill today, some 25 years later, the very same conditions and the very same development opportunity for high-quality waterfront development, which can change the face of the city. Now is the opportunity in Haverhill to really cherry-pick the waterfront and the opportunity to redevelop with high-quality residential and commercial development on the waterfront, not unlike this thing that happened in Newburyport 25 years ago. Now, I mentioned to you Senator Ives, and the head of Travel and Tourism, and she did produce some help to us this year, again, to try to start this concept of the river cities, connecting Salisbury and Newburyport to Amesbury and the towns in between, and ultimately to the last stop on the River Haverhill. As you can see here, there's a kind of a nice picture up in the right-hand corner. They looked at our bridge as one of the key, the Basilier Bridge is one of the key facilities that you'd want to feature in terms of its beauty. But it starts to show the kind of activities, and they call it Traveling the Mighty Merrimack. And this is a pamphlet that was produced last summer for the first time ever that documents all the marinas, all the facilities, all the tourist activities and things that you can visit coming upriver by boat up and down that Merrimack, the Mighty Merrimack. Next shot. And this is one of the things we saw that day, it's kind of beautiful, that we think would be some major tourist attractions, opportunities that people that come by rail to Haverhill, maybe take a kayak, and we have a couple of examples of folks doing that, going down river, spending a day on the river, backpacking on their canoe, and then leaving for home by train and going back to Boston. Another shot here was this striper was caught up by the Methuen line. Does anybody, how do we get the word out of the incredible tourist, sport fishing, beautiful visibility into autumn and around the seasons of traveling up and down the Merrimack River, this incredible resource we have. My friends that are down there in Newburyport say, I like to come up, maybe I'll come up to Merrimack, but you get up to the Rocks Village Bridge, and I don't want to have a $15,000 stern drive replacement. It's a little dicey. So we asked them what they had for navigation resources at the yacht club and up and down the river, and they pulled out, it looked like a Xerox copy done with pencil. And so, go up there by the bridge and you get there. Look at the big tree over there, right? Go about 100 yards from that, hook a right. You see the big rock over there? Well, that's not exactly the way you might want to navigate in this day and age. So this is a bathymetric shot that was done as part of the Harbor Place development for the Army Corps of Engineers. And what you're seeing there in the area along, and that's up on the right-hand side, that's the Woolworth building. So you're looking at the other side of the seawall and flood wall. And those are the depths at low tide. And so we say it's time to get away from folklore, and we need facts if we're going to try to promote navigation on this river. And this next shot you're going to see is literally the distance from the Como Bridge to the Atlantic Ocean. It's 19 miles. You can do that in about 40, 45 minutes, in a 35, 40-footer or a 20-footer heading down that river. But the issue is on the left-hand side where you see the colors. That's about 8 miles. And when you come up the Merrimack River, down in the Newburyport area, up into Amesbury, that's the easy part of the navigation. And the interesting part is the information that's available on Garmin, type as most boatsmen use today. The detail is about 1 in 8 to 1 in 12,000, so it's pretty good detail. So you can flip that Garmin on and you know where that channel is coming up the river. Well, nobody really pushed the issue about Haverhill and the fact that this is an old inland harbor that needs to be reconnected with the Atlantic Ocean. And what we found out was when you came up towards Merrimack and towards Groveland, it's 1 in 80,000 is the scale. You might as well throw a rock to find out where the channel is. So with the data that we actually did, bathymetric soundings was done in October to establish where the channel is at low tide, so that we can start to identify and then we're providing that information to NOAA, the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration, and they're the resource that provides the information to the Coast Guard to do mapping and charting for all boating activity in the United States along the coastal and inland waterways. So that information, as of the boating year of 2016, is going to be provided up to the map resources. So things like Garmin and what have you are going to be able to come to Haverhill, and our resource will be in 1 in 6,000, about twice as good as it is down in the easier navigation downriver, and slightly better than 1 in 80,000 as it is today. Next slide. And here's another shot, and just not to bore you, but it's again from the lower left-hand side is in the city of Haverhill, going down around the Silsby Farm area. And we've actually measured bathymetrically where they drag the sonar and they shoot down sonar and they can contour the river bottom. The importance of that is we're going to be providing that to developers. So if you're looking to develop under the new Haverhill zoning that is now promoting riverfront development on both sides, the Bradford side and Haverhill, our intent is to provide this information so in terms of tying in marinas and things of that nature, you've got hard data, hard information. And the other part, as you can see, the deep water channel this takes you down beyond the Rocks Village Bridge. So the kind of information, navigation, we want it to be safe and secure travel to the city of Haverhill on the Merrimack. So the challenge was site assembly. That's what you see. You can't see that anymore, so you're seeing a historic picture right there. The foundation bought the Woolworth building in December 2005, saying somebody's got to take a shot. And if you could but you couldn't do it with one building. You had to be able to assemble. And we were finally successful about actually last July to acquire the last of really 7 buildings that was necessary to pull this together. And on the next slide here, you can see some of the conditions that were in these buildings. So if you're coming upriver, you got to have something to come to, and it's got to be something better than this. If Haverhill's going to be a draw to say, why do you want to come upriver? Even if it's easy. And as you can flip through these slides, here's another shot. There's the old fountain within the Woolworth building, and as you know that we did salvage that. That's in storage. to hopefully be reused as kind of a special piece of nostalgia in maybe one of the restaurants that's going to be used. And we did send a 10-foot section down to a civil rights museum in Mississippi that they wanted to have a Woolworth, which was a site of many sit-ins. But that's what a 45-year-old building, the Woolworth building, looked like. And I think that it's certainly not too terribly appealing. And as you next see this next shot, I looked at this as kind of an inspirational picture. Lord, take this building down. It is time. It is time. And it's been done. So, you know, as you started to see the demolition, this is Dr. Rose's building. That's a very pivotal location because that's going to be the entry and the exit to the underground 150-car parking garage. And we needed that to make sure that entry and exit was far enough away from the intersection not to cause congestion. And as we shoot, and I thought that was kind of interesting. It was not Dresden. That was Haverhill, going back several weeks ago in terms of the demolition starting to happen. And what was kind of cool is that, you know, it's such an icon, and we were all, as you born and brought up in the city, and I saw Melinda out there, and, you know, other folks. Sometimes it was crowds of like it seemed like 300 people at times, at all levels, watching this. Even a couple of folks, you know, enjoyed the day and wanted to get out of the strong sunshine. Now, is that Joe or Jake? Anybody, hands up? Is it Joe? Is that Joe? So, but we had a lot of fun, and it became a focal point. Next shot here. And it was one of the kind of fun things. This is my artistic shot I took, but if you were there, and they were taking down the Ocasio building, and they were ripping off the 5th floor, and lo and behold, this yellow thing flew out, and it was this panda bear. And ultimately, this guy who was running the machinery, he was an artist. And he went down in a pile of demolition material and picked it up and put it up on an I-beam on the old building. And the crowd started applauding as he kept saving the bear as it fell down. So this bear was successfully recuperated Easy Way Cleaning. And we've had it on the board table as kind of the demo bear. And he's quite a piece of memorabilia. So you remember that building. And then you see it now. It's gone. And so the challenge is now that part's been done, and now do you move on and put in place what needs to happen so people are going to want to come back upriver to the Port of Haverhill. And there you're seeing the most current rendering of Harbor Place. And as it is now, we're very excited about the presence of HC Media, and to see that coming back down in on that first floor area, really the most, I say that one of the highest visibility spots in this city. Absolutely, it's going to be a wonderful thing. And the tie into Northern Essex and getting those students back downtown in classes. And we've had overtures from University of Massachusetts, who will be on the 2nd and 3rd floor here, asking about how they can tie into the resources of HC Media. So your reputation has gone well beyond Haverhill in terms of what you do here. Pentucket Bank on the 4th floor of the building. And we met last week, last Thursday, with a Boston-based company. We kept the penthouse floor, the 5th floor, as the last piece, figuring maybe when we get into construction, we could, you know, kind of hold off and see what we could do with it. And actually, it looks like that we have significant interest in that entire floor. So this building can be gone before we actually lay the first piece of steel, which I think stands in testimony to the effort. Maybe the stars are aligned, hopefully. So as we flip through, here's some other shots, and as you can see, the boardwalk will be wrapping around under the building by the Basileir Bridge. And as part of this construction, it's going to go and tie into the Bridge to Nowhere right now, or the boardwalk to nowhere behind Haverhill Bank. So that's going to help to continue that loop along the waterfront. And I think there's another shot here of that view. Okay, and here's one right here. You're going to see HC Media, right? So that is really the view where you'll be in that corner location with both the traffic on one side, but then that is the main entryway to the plaza from Merrimack Street that people will be walking down to a public plaza on the boardwalk. Another view, and again, the intent here, the foundation, we're going to work on dockage, and this is outside the joint venture with our partners, but we are totally, as you know, committed to trying to foster boating activity on this river, because it's a major way of regenerating life and value of real estate along the waterfront. And that plaza that you saw there, and I'll show you here as well, has been done by a company called the Copley Design Architects, landscape architects, John Copley out of Boston, and they've done stuff all along the seaport, Post Office Square. So it's the people who are working on this from the design and the engineering point of view are first class, no dust, you know, trying to bring in the best to work on this development. So as you see it here, you can see that gray area on the left side. That's the old Dr. Rose property, plus the little alleyway that used to be there. That's going to be the entry and the exit to the underground garage that really starts where you're seeing it pretty much with that yellow footprint. And that'll be we'll be adding 148 car parking. So that's a major resource. Hopefully, it will be good to create more traffic activity and demand, and that'll support the professionals in the building, the commercial building. And the building on the left is 80 housing units up top. This is the type of view you're going to look at, that beautiful bridge. And that bridge is scheduled to be not replaced, but to be restored in the 2018-2019 timeframe. And at that time, the idea of stringing that with lights and making that the entry to the harbor. And that beautiful piece of architecture will be preserved, and it's quite an asset to the city. What you see here, and pretty much in closing, the city of Haverhill has been picked as one of there's 26 gateway cities in the Commonwealth. There was a competition where they narrow it down to 10 for what they're calling a transformative development district, TDI district. And the city of Haverhill was picked as one of the top 3. Now, the other 3 were Springfield, Lynn, and Haverhill. And the benefit of that is that mass development is committing a person, in this case, a gentleman, Noah Korwitz, who is a trained in background in real estate law and development, and he will work in the city of Haverhill for 3 years on the Mass Developments tab as a resource to work with Bill Pillsbury and the development team and the mayor and the city council to focus on this TDI district that you see outlined with the red dashes. And the lower right-hand side is Harbor Place. And one of the main reasons why Haverhill was picked is they wanted to launch this TDI effort, not starting from square zero, but to be able to sustain and to accelerate development once development of quality has already started. And they referred that element to Harbor Place. So you can see there, a key element is the next phase is trying to look at that connector piece in kind of that green color, will be adjacent to Harbor Place, and that connects you to the city property across the street, the parking garage as it exists today, an opportunity to redevelop potentially that entire parcel. The beauty there is you've got about 2.5 acres of land owned by one owner, the city. We had to acquire 9 separate parcels to assemble Harbor Place, a much more difficult process. So the focus now will be to continue development beyond Harbor Place in this TDI district over the next 3 years, and tremendous resources and support from mass development at the state level to get this done. So this is kind of taking a shot at a vision, and this goes back to an effort that was launched in 1999, 2000, when Ann Atkinson, maybe some of you remember, there was a kind of community visioning effort that went on at that time. And at that time, the vision was, can we improve the bridge that's down here? Well, that's been done. Could you acquire the B&M Railroad site and create a rail trail on that side? Well, that's been done and in process and being finished up this year. Could you ever get the Basileir Bridge preserved and restored? Well, that's scheduled to be done. Could you do something along the side and attack that Woolworth building site and work your way up Merrimack Street and try to redevelop that area? That's happening. So this is 15 years ago, a community-based vision, and I think you've come a long way. That's kind of the story of Harbor Place and the biggest story in my mind of the Merrimack River and where things are going. And Harbor Place is just a piece to that puzzle. But I think as a development opportunity, there's a very exciting future for downtown Haverhill and the Bradford side of Haverhill for a total waterfront renaissance. So, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for being here. Hold on, I'm going to let you draw the raffle ticket. I just want to say that HC Media is extremely, extremely proud to be part of this project. It's huge, it just seems to be growing bigger and bigger, and we are so proud to be able to occupy the first floor of that wonderful building. All right, we're going to switch to a little bit of the business portion of the meeting right now, and I'd like to call up the chairperson of our nominating committee, Tom Faulkner.
Great job, Ron. Been working on it a long time. As you heard, my name is Tom Faulkner, Chairman of the Nominating Committee. And my cohorts in the committee are Ed Felker and Warren Medley. We put together a list of nominees, which fills every slot available under the bylaws. The committee nominated, and the board has voted to approve that nomination and recommend the election to this membership meeting. The three nominees, new directors for a term of 1 year, Pam Carr, Sarah Mosier, who would represent the Haverhill Public Library, and Robin Whitson. If those three are here, I don't know if you could raise your hand or stand up and say hello so people will recognize you. Thank you. The committee further nominated for re-election to the board four currently sitting directors: Amy Callahan, Jay Cleary, Jonathan Miller, and Frank Novak. And at this point, I would call for a motion to elect the slate of directors as recommended. Do we have a motion? Do we have a second? Second. Any questions? If not, if we could have a show of hands to elect the slate as presented. Okay, thank you. Slate, I declare the slate elected. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom, and congratulations, new board members. At this point, we have the treasurer's report, a finance report from Jonathan Miller.
Hello, I'm back for another year. I'm going to give you a very brief report. Our revenues for the year ended 2014, which includes contract revenues, contributions, and interest on investments, was $871,373. Our total expenses were $803,079, leaving us with an unrestricted net asset balance for that year of $68,294. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Now it's my pleasure to move on to awarding appreciation awards for our members who have done an outstanding job in various categories this year. We have a special award that I have the privilege of presenting to a member who's been producing a program here for 20 years. I think it might even be a little bit more than 20 years. He's been a staple on Friday nights for 8 hours a night, and I'd like to call up Bob Garapi, please, if I could. Bob? Bob does a program called Nostalgia Theater, and he recently informed us that he's going to be changing the format of that program, and we just wanted to let him know how much we appreciated those Friday nights. Bob?
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
You want to say something?
Thank you very much. It's very easy to put together 8 hours. I can recall back in the TV 33 days, if anybody here remembers that, I was told that 4 hours couldn't be done every week. And so I said, well, I'm going to have to do 8. And it's worked out very well, and very, very rarely have to do a rerun. And if you love something very much and you meet people across the community that there are people that appreciate this type of entertainment and radio, television history, and so forth. The new format starting Friday night very quickly will be from 7 to 11, a lot of great old-time radio, which covers areas of such as Western history and so forth, and comedy and Westerns. And then at 11 o'clock, I'll be starting silent movies at that time. And any leftover time up to 3 o'clock will be either science fiction or mystery, old-time radio. And I really love and I enjoy doing it with a little bit of music in between and so forth. And so just the opportunity that TV 22 and its great staff gives me to be able to do this is very much appreciated. Thank you.
The next award we call the Rookie of the Year Award. This is given to an individual member who has been volunteering for less than a year and has shown great promise in acquiring new skills and the level of production that he or she puts out. To present that award, I call up Brian Huff.
Hello, everyone. So for this year's Rookie of the Year Award, I'm really proud to introduce a new producer at HC Media, who he's been producing an excellent show for us for the last couple of weeks. It's called Songs from the Shed, Greta. And Andrew Ryan is the producer of this show, which he's just done such a phenomenal job. Go on YouTube, go on our website, check it out on Channel 22. It's a beautiful show with some great local Haverhill artists. So for this award, I'd like to welcome up Andrew.
There you go, Andrew. Thank you very much. I want to say a few words.
Sure. Thanks a lot. I had no idea this was happening. So I want to give a lot of thanks to the, I've had a lot of support from the staff and all the volunteers that worked here. There's no way I would be able to make any of this stuff if it wasn't for people that put their time into showing how to use the equipment and lending equipment out and maintaining the equipment and everything. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and I want to thank them. And also, I think there's a lot to offer. There's a lot of talent in Haverhill, and musically and artistically, and part of the show, part of what I do in the show is kind of like showcasing that. And Haverhill's a great place, and there's lots of good stuff going on. Thanks.
Thank you, Andrew. So next up, to introduce the Advocate of the Year, I'd like to welcome Tom.
Thank you, Brian. Brian and I were supposed to have a Speedo competition. He chickened out. So I'm going to declare myself the HC Media Speedo Champion of 2014. I'll just wait for the plaque in the mail. Okay, cool. Got it. All right. I'm here to present the HC Media Community Advocate Award. This is given every year to a volunteer who uses our facilities to make the city of Haverhill a better place. Simply put, it's someone that puts the Haverhill community in Haverhill community media. This year's recipient is Officer Paul Malone, and he's a man that's really dedicated to his community. He's as dedicated as one could possibly be. On top of his decades of service as an officer for the Haverhill Police Department, this year Paul began producing the Haverhill Police Bulletin with me, which provides citizens with regular updates from the department, ensuring that if you live in Haverhill, you always have a way to see how much the police department does for this community. Paul came in to shoot an episode after a 24-plus hour shift, so that gives you an idea of how committed this man is, more than words ever could. Paul also manages Haverhill's Emergency Operations Center, ensuring that should disaster ever strike, we're going to have a plan made by someone with the experience to get us through it. And with that said, this year's HC Media Community Advocate Award goes to Paul Malone, who unfortunately is not with us tonight. He's actually teaching a class, probably teaching something that's going to save our butts if things go wrong. So just a quick round of applause for Paul. Thank you very much. And next to present our Volunteer of the Year Award, Lindsay Paris.
Hello, everybody. I am here tonight to present the Volunteer of the Year Award. This is always a hard award to give because we have so many great volunteers. We have a whole room full of them tonight. But tonight we're looking at one special volunteer. He's a newer volunteer, and he has always been here for us. That's probably one of the things that has really stood out about him this year, his willingness to go above and beyond. Whenever we call him, he's available. As all of you know, a lot of times at the last minute, we will have someone call out sick or not be able to make it, and we'll need someone to fill in. This individual has always been here and able to do that for us. He hasn't been in too much lately because he's been remodeling his house and blowing some insulation into the walls, which, as many of you know, is a big job. And he also recently traveled to Africa. So when he finishes insulating his house, he's going to give us some great home movies of Africa, right? Right? Ralph, see, he knows what we're talking about. So our Volunteer of the Year is Ralph Brown. Ralph, come on up. You're welcome. You want to say a couple words?
Yeah, I can only say that this place is an amazing resource for the city and the surrounding area. I really think that more people should know the kind of equipment and teaching resources they have here because it is really spectacular. So thanks one and all.
Thank you, Ralph. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, and next to present the Editor of the Year Award, I am going to call up Chris Bowden and Amy Callahan.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming. Good to see you all. Editor of the Year is again, as Lindsay said, a difficult award to give out because we have a lot of great editors here. But this award sort of goes to someone who has gone a bit more above and beyond the normal editing. And this person certainly fits that category. Anything we give him, he edits, doesn't ask questions, gets it done in a timely fashion, and does a really good job, too. And I believe this person came in with very little to no editing skills and is now editing stuff, and we don't have to even worry about him. So, also happens to be one of our interns, Sean Smith. Let's give him a round of applause. Come on up, Sean. I don't know if you actually saw this coming or not. I think you might have, but and Amy, if you want to say a few words too.
First of all, congratulations, Sean. So many things have already been said about the wonderful relationship that Northern Essex Community College has with HC Media, and I would just like to restate that it's such a wonderful thing for us to have our students here at this facility expanding on their skills, transforming themselves into truly special and productive people in our community. So thank you all, and congratulations, Sean.
We have this really cool HC Media jacket for Sean, just in time for summer. So.
Much like Andrew, I had no idea that this was going to happen, so I don't really know what to say. But I feel like, I don't know, this is a really cool thing. It's a very special honor to receive Best Editor of the Year. That's pretty big, I think. Well, thank you for the award. Honestly, I don't know what to say, so thank you.
I'd like to ask Sarah McCarthy to come up and introduce our Producer of the Year Award.
Hello, everyone. How are ya? I'm glad you guys could all be here today. So as you guys know, I am production coordinator here at HC Media, which means I help anybody make a show, and I make people's dreams come true, I like to think. I am here to present the award of Producer of the Year. I work a lot of hand in hand with the producers that walk through the station, and this one person in particular, she's came in. Oh, I kind of spilled the beans. She came in about a year ago, and she brought in this concept of introducing people from around the world and giving them their viewpoints about their culture and their beliefs. And I just think that's such a great show. And she always books, good producer, books their guests on time and books a monthly show and make sure everything comes together, and she did a great job. And that Producer of the Year is Linda Henson. So let's give her a round of applause for her. Unfortunately, she could not make it here today, so I am hoping Brian from North Point Bible Church, you here? He unfortunately couldn't make it here today either, I guess. So I will take the award and I will give it to her when she comes in for her next show. So thank you, and I will give that over to Matt Belfiore, my excellent boss, and he will be presenting the Lifetime Achievement Award. Yay! So let's hear it for Matt.
Hey everybody. We don't give out Lifetime Achievement Awards all the time, only when it's really, really deserved. This year it is very much so deserved. The person who's getting the Lifetime Achievement Award has done so much not only for the station, but also in large part for a lot of students and a lot of the folks basically at Whittier Tech. There was a hole in our programming. We covered a lot of HHS sporting events, but we never covered any of the events for Whittier Tech. And one of our volunteers noticed this a few years back, started covering like every game under the sun, and since then his shooting has helped a lot of kids get scholarships and go on much further. That's really all I want to say, because there's somebody here who can speak a lot better to it than I can, and that would be the Whittier Tech Athletics Director, Kevin Bradley. Kevin, if you're out there still, why don't you come up here? Come on in.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here, especially honoring a special person that is recipient of this award tonight. I had an opportunity to meet Mo McGuire about 3 or 4 years ago when he said, "Do you mind if I come to the games and broadcast all the games here that I can on television?" I said, "Geez, that'd be great. We never had that opportunity." And I didn't know how it was going to escalate on to night after night after night. I mean, I'm at the gym, in the gym or on the fields all the time, almost 365 days. And every time I turn around, it's always 15 minutes before game time. There's Mo coming right up there with this camera and interviewing the referees, the umpires. It didn't make a difference who it was, and he was there. Now the players and the parents all get to see, well, who's this person with all the film? How can I get this film? It's very important I'm able to get some of this film so my child or daughter can go on to college, because a lot of the colleges want these films. So Mo, not even thinking twice about it, would produce extra DVDs and bring them to the game and pass them out to all the parents. Then it caught on that Mo's also up there in his Hawaiian suit, always having the Hawaiian shirt, and that's why tonight I'm honoring Mo. I had to pull this one out of the closet, and it's an honor for Mo. So I get many calls at the high school. I saw that you have somebody that was filming the game. How can I get a hold of him? I give him Mo's phone number, email.
And Mo immediately gets in charge of it, and we have people from Gloucester, from the Boston area, all around Andover, North Andover, the teams that we're playing. How can I get that film? Because my child, son or daughter, wants to go on to, and we need a film for college. Mo immediately would have a film in their hands within a day. Give it to the most. He tried to get it there the next day, or give it to me, and we'd get it to him. And without Mo being there, first of all, Whittier Tech has blossomed, the athletic department, winning all these state championships, conference championships, and they get people out there in the Haverhill community get an opportunity to see not only the Haverhill. I didn't know it was also going to Pentucket, going to Newburyport. He's producing all these, and with Rich Pacelli, our media director, producing it all over the Merrimack Valley area. And it's a lot of work. And I get a lot of phone calls from Mo. Especially if people don't know Mo. Mo loves to text or email at 4:30 in the morning. I can hear the ding on my phone, or I look and I says, wait a minute, Mo, 4:30, did you really expect me to be by my computer? And I'm sorry I didn't respond to you right away, because Mo, when you text him or email him, bang, it comes back right away. And I made the mistake one time trying to call him at his house, and he says, no, don't call me when I'm at my house. Like, I know when Mo was at his house. He says, I'm there almost all the time, producing all the editing, all the films that go on. He doesn't get reception at his house with his cell phone. So I always, first thing, if I want to get a hold of Mo, I get on the computer and say, Mo, you there? And then he'll respond about 4:30. I'm, yes, I am. I say, Mo, I'm just not up there at 4:30 in the morning. So I'm sorry I didn't get back to you until 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. But the person that puts in all these hours, and let me tell you, this last year, we have a tight end that's playing Division I football, and all his films and highlight films came through Mo. Now, there's a person that's getting, between his travel and everything like that, it's probably worth about $80,000, all the plane flights that he's flying all around the country. And without that honor, $80,000, and there was only 14 players in the state of Massachusetts that received Division I football scholarships, and because of Mo's work and able to put out all this film, he was one of them. This year, it's unheard of. Usually a girl basketball player, you're going to get one. There's only going to be about 12 to 15 girls that are going to get basketball scholarships in the state of Massachusetts. It's very difficult because the schools only can give out 3 per year. Well, they always go down to New York, New Jersey, and they're all over the Florida and the Midwest. And to get somebody to get a basketball scholarship is unheard of. But unheard of is to get 3 girls from the same team. And Mo was just handing out DVDs, making sure everybody had a copy so they can get it to the college or universities, because not only that, but all the colleges were lined up at the game, sit in the front row, and there's Mo handing DVDs to everybody, making sure they get an opportunity to see. And I'll tell you what, the behind the scenes, what goes on, he gets on the school bus. I always get an email, text, what time is the bus leaving? He wants to be on the bus. He has his seat right up front. We make sure we stop so Mo gets something to eat on the way back. We go to Brockton, we go down and play Brockton High School. We get back about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. Mo's right away editing the film as soon as he gets back. So I can't thank enough of them, and everybody in the school and the superintendent wants to congratulate Mo, the principal, because he's always there to help people. Not only just Whittier Tech, but anybody that asks for help from Mo is going to receive it. And he goes above and beyond. And I just want to thank Mo for everything he has done. And he's the recipient for this award, and I couldn't think of a better person. So I'd like to bring up Mo McGuire. You want me to give it? There you go, Mo. Thank you very much for everything you've done. Thank you. I'm sorry about that. That was going to come off.
Say some words, Mo.
Thank you very much. And if anybody ever wonders if what we do here makes a difference in lives, it does. Take my word for it. As an adjunct to what Kevin said, this past year I got a call from a woman in Brockton. Her daughter wanted to try and get a scholarship, and I got a DVD to her. And just approximately a month ago, a kid from Gloucester, his father got a DVD from me, and he's hopeful to get a scholarship as well. And his team beat Whittier, the Whittier boys basketball team. But anyway, thank you very much.
Okay, and with that, I'd like to bring up Chris Bowden. Chris prepared the final video for the evening. Chris, come on up.
Thank you. Congratulations, everybody. The final video we have, just a little bit of a background story on this. We did all this cleaning for the meeting, got tidied up for the night. We unearthed this really strange video. And we thought, what better night to show it than at the members meeting? None of us have ever seen it before. We just discovered it under some shelf, had a lot of dust on it. So without further ado, let's see what this is all about.
Welcome to the official HC Media members training video. I'm your cliche narrator. And this is Shannon. Ahem. This is Shannon. Shannon just completed her volunteer training. And while Shannon may be a pro now, she certainly didn't start there. Let's take a look back. Here's Shannon only 4 weeks ago at her dead-end job. A job a monkey could do. A job a monkey could probably do better. A job...
Hey! I think they get it.
Anyway, here's Shannon at a job she absolutely hates. Shannon knew it was time for a change, but she didn't know where to go. Then she remembered what her college professor from college said.
Yeah! Rock and roll! Hey kids, I came down here to pursue my dreams as a musician. That was 19 years ago. Now I'm just floating around in memory bubbles. Remember, you too can realize your dreams at HC Media. It's easy!
That's right, kids. It's so easy, even Shannon could do it. Well, Shannon, welcome to HC Media, where all your wildest dreams can come true.
This is fantastic. I can't believe I've never been here before. Can I make my own TV show now?
Not quite yet, Shannon. First, you have to see all of the wonderful equipment that HC Media has to offer. HC Media has spared no expense making sure volunteers have the best equipment on the market. Isn't that right, Colin?
That's correct.
And one of the benefits of being a member is being able to rub that in Shannon's face.
That is also correct.
Shannon, you look a little overwhelmed.
But I'm not.
Whenever you're feeling overwhelmed at HC Media, just remember our team acronym. Colin?
When I get stuck and don't know what to do, I just remember community.
And please tell our beautiful audience what community stands for.
Community stands for Citizens Openly Making Media, united now in the yogurt.
Yogurt? What does yogurt have to do with anything? Oh, so now I can make any TV show that I want?
Well, volunteers can, but you're not a volunteer yet!
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I was paid to stand here and pretend to be a volunteer.
Hold it right there, Shannon. We have something unfolding at this very moment which you need to see. This is Jake, one of our strapping young volunteers. Shannon, what do you think Jake is here to do?
I'm here to buy a vowel.
This isn't Wheel of Fortune, kid.
Well, Shannon, do you think this is a game show?
I am here to become a ninja.
Jackie Chan gave us 2 weeks' notice, sorry.
Well, Shannon, do you think this is a ninja training facility?
I am here to take out some camera gear.
Camera gear? Does that sound like something a volunteer might need?
Yogurt. Community. We're here for the community.
Camera gear? That I can help you with.
I've done all the training. Can I make my own TV show now?
Sorry, Shannon, but there's one more thing you have to do. In order to make a TV show, you need to learn from the experts. Watch!
to Senior Moments. This is our first show in a series that we'll be doing for seniors. We'll be offering ways for them to be both mentally and physically healthy.
I'm Rick Harrington. I'm the pastor at First Baptist Church in Haverhill, Massachusetts, and welcome to the first episode of our show, Faith in Haverhill.
Welcome to Perspectives. My name is Dan McGraw. Today's episode, we have Lenny Mira from 2nd Essex.
Hello, my name is Gail Henney, and I'd like to welcome you to Write Now, the show designed to encourage you to write and hopefully to publish.
Good evening and welcome to Colton's Corner. Tonight, I am honored to have Senator Ives, that is running for re-election in that district.
Welcome to When I'm 64. I'm Jay Cleary. Well, tonight we're going to take a look back at Haverhill during the war years.
Hello everyone, my name is Gina Paulus and I am excited to welcome you to the Homebodies Fitness Show. Oh yeah. And step down, or whatever that was.
Hello, I'm Joe Bevilacqua. I'm the President and CEO of the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce, and I want to welcome you to another edition of the Merrimack Valley Chamber Means Business.
Welcome to the Somebody Cares Show. I'm going to give you just some highlights of what's happening with Somebody Cares in the next few months. And for those of you that are interested, you can check out our website for more information.
Hello America, how are you? Welcome to Let's Talk Vets Talk, coming to you from HC Media Studios here in the historic and ever so beautiful city of Haverhill, Massachusetts.
Team is spelled T-E-A-M. There is no I in the word.
Welcome to Across the Universe, a series where we'll meet local people who are pursuing their passions and making an impact on the world around them.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Frank Novak, and this is Point of Reference. The citizens of the city of Haverhill have always been known for their activism and helping the community in various ways.
Hello, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of Miracles Do Happen. Actually, this will be our first episode of this year.
Thank you again for joining us on Matters of the Heart here on Haverhill Community Television. I'm Seth Bilazarian from Pentucket Medical.
Oh, back again so soon, huh?
That's me.
They are created, for thou art worthy, O Lord.
Amigos televidentes, ¿qué tal? Dear televiewer, hello. De nuevo con su programa Juventud para Cristo alrededor del mundo. Once again, your way to Christ around the world.
Y tu honra, y yo siempre te la daré hoy, mañana y siempre, porque tú eres el dueño de mi alma, de mi vida y mi fe.
For by him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities.
But God is such a good God, even though David messed up, God didn't mess up.
Y un día verán como el Hijo del Hombre está sentado a la derecha del Todopoderoso.
I am John Mitchison, and welcome to A Minute with the City Council President.
Welcome to another edition of Minute with the Mayor.
Hi! I am going out of my mind. I am so bored.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Haverhill Police Bulletin. I'm Officer Paul Malone of the Haverhill Police Department.
Welcome everyone to this special Candidates Election edition of Point of Reference. This is the 5th.
We are here at the 2014 Duck Drop, Haverhill, Massachusetts, United States of America.
It's been a pretty big year this year. The class of 2014 is about to graduate.
It's a very, very ornate tree. Can you tell me how long this took to put up?
Hey you guys, it's Sarah McCarthy here at the Haverhill Idol 2014, and I'm here with Kate.
Welcome to the Haverhill Journal, where we give you a quick look each week at what's going on in our city. Ground was ceremoniously broken on the new Harbor Place project.
The cat is finally out of the bag. Let it be known that everyone's favorite community media center will be one of Harbor Place's first tenants.
And HCTV, formerly TV Now Media, will be having their recording studio on the first floor as well.
First of all, it is an exciting day in Haverhill, and it's an exciting day for the Merrimack Valley and the whole Commonwealth, because it's an example of what a purposeful blend of public and private resources can do to lift a community.
And of course, HC Media would be nothing without its stellar staff to help you every step of the way.
Photograph! Wait for me!
Shannon's life was literally falling apart before her very eyes. But little did she know that behind the curtain she was about to open lay the biggest surprise. Hi, Shannon. Usually people don't catch me doing this. This is fairly awkward for me. You did a great job in the video, though. You know, it was well done, and I'm sorry for saying all those terrible things. That's all we got. That's it. Go home. Leave.
I think that was just absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Chris Bowden, for putting that together. And that is really just a sampling of the programming that happens at Haverhill Community Media. So many single programs happen as well. We produced over 600 programs last year, or I should say our volunteers produced over 600 programs last year. To fit every single program in that video would have kept you guys here till midnight, and we're just about ready to close. But before we close, what I'd like to do is to introduce my absolutely fantastic, amazing staff. This is one of the most talented staffs that I've ever worked with. So as I call you out, please just come out and take a bow. Matt Belfiore, Operations Director. Erin Scott, Administrative Assistant. Sarah McCarthy, Production Coordinator. Lindsay Paris, Community News Producer. Chris Bowden, Producer and Videographer. Tom Jorgensen, Producer Videographer. Brian Huff, Multimedia Specialist. Shannon Keaton, Production Assistant. Shayna Richardson, Intern, get up here, take a bow. Sean Smith, Intern, get up here, take a bow. Thank you all very much for your dedication and hard work this past year. And now, Jay, you can do the honors.
We forgot to mention one person, Darlene Beal. Since I've been at Haverhill Community TV, now media, going back to 1999, my first meeting was with Darlene when I wanted to do a program, as Shannon still wants to do. And, you know, from that point when I first met Darlene, gave her my idea, told her what I thought I would like to do, the support, the help that I got from everybody who's volunteer here, like myself, has been astounding. And I just want to thank you and recognize you for all that you've done, as well as the staff and all those of us who are volunteers, and know everybody to my right in the back. They're just a great group of people to work with. And before I end the meeting, Shannon, now I know why you were being filmed picking up that yogurt container about a week ago Saturday, which I could not understand. So it was a great video, Chris. There's one more raffle ticket, so I'm going to have a disinterested observer pick the raffle ticket. Which of your daughters want to pick it? 269739. We do have a winner, Jackie.
Where's the Benny Hill music?
We lost her. Let's pick another number. No.
She's got it. She's got it.
Oh, she's got it. That's too bad. Well, I want to thank everybody who came here tonight. I hope you enjoyed the evening. The film that Chris put together I thought was awesome, and it gave me a good sense of, as we watched the number of shows, just how many programs are put together by so many talented people who come into this building and not only change their lives, but as Mo McGuire so aptly put it, change the lives of other people. We do these programs not for ourselves, but for other people, people that watch them, people that enjoy them, we hope, and people that sometimes can get inspired from programs and want to kind of expand their own little world and produce other programs, and we've seen the ripple effect over the years. So having said that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn, if anybody would like to adjourn this annual meeting. And do we have a second? We have a second. We also have second servings of dessert, so before you leave, there's cupcakes that need to be eaten, girls, okay? Thank you very much for coming. We'll see you next year with films of a new building in downtown Haverhill, of which Haverhill Community Media will play a significant portion. So for that, you're all to be commended. Thanks.